Welcome to Catholic News World.
Welcome to Catholic News World. Please subscribe to our channel. My name is Steph. Here are this week's breaking news headlines.
A priest of the Missionary Society of St. Joseph of Mill Hill was wounded in an attack on the parish of St. Martin of Tours in Kembong, in the Diocese of Mamfe, in southwest Cameroon, Africa. According to the Mill Hill missionaries, on September 26, at about 11 a.m., 6 armed men on motorcycles, presumably from the Anglophone separatists, the known as Bamba Boys, entered the compound of our parish in Kembong. Agenzia Fides reported that their first question was, "Where are the teachers?" When the teachers showed up, they asked everyone to sit down. Father Elvis Mbanksi was in the parish house. When he arrived, he was also asked to sit down. But before he could do so, he was shot in the leg. The rebels then also shot the teachers in the legs. Some people were hit multiple times, including Father Elvis. Since the Kembong District Hospital had been destroyed in previous separatist attacks, the injured were first treated at Mamfe Hospital and then transferred to Bamenda General Hospital for more specialized treatment. All are in a stable condition and are out of danger. The attackers said they wanted to prevent the school from operating in the region. The attack came less than 24 hours after 10 district leaders were kidnapped by gunmen posing as separatists. These individuals were reportedly kidnapped for supporting the resumption of classes in the region. The kidnappers demanded a ransom of 50 million CFA francs, just over 76,000 euros, for their release. Since 2016, the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon, in the northwest and southwest, have been in the grip of a war of secession from the rest of the French-speaking country. The separatist groups, called Amba Boys, intend to form their own state, Ambazonia. They have imposed a school boycott to protest against the education system that penalize English speakers. Thousands of schools have been closed. Many were burned down and teachers left the English-speaking regions en masse. The church also pays the price as it continues to operate despite violence and threats and always seeks the path of dialogue with everyone, as the president of the Episcopal Conference of Cameroon, Archbishop Andrew Nkifwanya of Bamenda, capital of the Anglophone region, said in an interview with Fides. "Despite the violence, I did not close any parishes and stayed local," he emphasized. A fire at a Syriac Catholic wedding caused over 100 deaths in Christian Iraq. Patriarchs, bishops, priests, and faithful gathered in prayer for the victims. The fire destroyed a packed wedding hall in northern Iraq in the evening on September 26, killing more than 100 people, with the bride and groom believed to be part of the victims. The fire appeared to have started when fireworks were set off inside the building and highly flammable panels were engulfed in flames. There were a lot of victims, charred bodies. "It's an indescribable tragedy," Fardis, a nun who saw the fire, said. 150 people were also injured in the blaze. The area of Karakash, Iraq, with a population of about 50,000, is still recovering from the 2014 invasion of ISIS, which devastated the land. Pope Francis visited the area, referred to as Iraq's Christian capital, in 2021, to encourage members of the country's oldest faith to return to their homes after being driven out by ISIS. Karakash, a town also known as Hamdania, lies east of Mosul in the Nineveh Plain. The Syriac Catholic Patriarch Ignatius III Yonan and his Beatitude Patriarch Cardinal Louis Raphael Sako statements and visited the area. They wrote, "Syriac Catholic Patriarch Ignatius III Yonan expressed his closeness and complete solidarity with the Archbishop of Mosul and its environs, Benedict Yonan Hanno, and all the sons and daughters of his diocese, clergy and faithful, especially the sons and daughters of the beloved and bereaved Karakash, after a fire incident during a wedding ceremony." The fire during a wedding ceremony in the Al-Hamdaniya area, northern Iraq, caused a major disaster that resulted in the death and injury of hundreds. The use of sandwich panels covered with Koban panels used in the process of building the wedding hall contributed to exacerbating the disaster and spreading the fire, as they are flammable materials. Patriarch Yonan called on all believers to pray fervently for the victims who died as a result of the Great Fire at the wedding party in Karakash, asking God to be kind, compassionate, and save his people, through the intercession of our Mother, the pure Virgin Mary. On Wednesday morning, September 27, 2023, His Beatitude Patriarch Cardinal Luis Rafael Seco visited the Syriac Catholic Archdiocese to offer condolences and sympathy to the victims of the Nakba fire, where 114 people died and about 200 were injured. He was received by His Eminence Bishop Benedict Yonan Hanno and His Eminence Bishop Nathaniel Nazar Saman Ajam. His beatitude was accompanied by Bishop Shalimon Wardoni, Najib Mikhail, Fathers Avram Kliana, Director of the Priestly Institute, and Rudy Vigneron. His beatitude presented a sum of money to His Eminence Bishop Yonan to help the afflicted families. At the funeral ceremony he gave a short speech in which he said, "This catastrophe will remain alive, not in the memory of the people of Karakash, but in the memory of Iraqi Christians. It is a tragedy how, in an instant, life turned into death and joy into painful sadness." Freedom to Live was the theme at the successful March for Life in the United Kingdom with 7,000 participants and many youth. On September 2nd, despite a national rail strike, the numbers weren't down at this year's March for Life UK. Police estimated that 7,000 pro-life attendees of all ages, including a large contingent of youth, filled Parliament Square on Saturday to show their support for the 2023 theme of the event, Freedom to Live. A growing number of counter-protesters, comprising various groups, were also present in a protest, but it seemed like nothing could dampen the spirits of the March for Life crowd, as they sang, danced, and prayed their way along the streets. The annual public witness, now in its 9th year, processed in a lively manner through Westminster before stopping for the keynote speeches. Speakers included Lois McClatchy-Miller from ADF, Alliance Defending Freedom, who told the crowd, "The apparently empowering mantra of my body, my choice has led to a deficit of male responsibility." While Scott Klusendorf, president of the Life Training Institute, urged attendees to enter into conversations with those around them, but reminded them, "We need to have the confidence to make our case persuasively." Co-director of the event, Isabel von Spruce, who also spoke and shared her experience of being arrested for praying silently near a center. "On the second time I was arrested, I was told my prayers were an offense." She noted 100,000 unborn die annually. Religious leaders from various Christian denominations showed their support for the cause by joining together in a demonstration of solidarity. Catholic bishops John Sherrington, Richard Moth, and John Keenan took to the stage alongside Monsignor Keith Newton of the Ordinariate. Various Anglican priests were present along with regular supporters, Reverend Calvin Robinson from the Free Church of England and Reagan King from the Angel Church. Co-director, Ben Thatcher shared how at the end of the day a young man who had been present throughout asked for a March for Life poster to take home with him, saying, "I want to tell my church where I've been today and what I've heard." Ben promised the event would be back in September 2024 to celebrate March for Life UK's 10th anniversary and shared his hope that there would be 10,000 supporters participating next year. Pope Francis will hold a consistory for the creation of 21 new cardinals from around the world at the Vatican on the 30th of September, 2023. The consistory comes before the beginning of the Synod on Synodality, scheduled to take place with representatives from all over the world in October. After the consistory on September 30th, the number of electors in the College of Cardinals will increase to 137. The total number of members of the College of Cardinals will be 242. The cardinal-elects come from around the world. Among them are the prefects of the dicasteries for the doctrine of the faith, Archbishop Victor Manuel Fernandez; of the dicastery for bishops, Archbishop Robert Francis Prevost; of the dicastery for Oriental churches, Archbishop Claudio Gujarati. The Holy Father also named as cardinals, Bishop Stephen Krai Saoyen of Hong Kong, China, the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, His Beatitude Pier Battista Pizzaballa, and Apostolic Nuncio to the United States, Archbishop Christophe Pierre. Pope Francis prayed, "Let us pray for the new cardinals, so that, confirming their adhesion to Christ, the merciful and faithful High Priest, they might help me in my ministry as Bishop of Rome for the good of the entire holy people faithful to God." Pope Francis said, "Where they come from expresses the universality of the Church, which continues to proclaim the merciful love of God to all people of the earth." In addition, the insertion of the new cardinals in the Diocese of Rome manifests the inseparable bond between the See of Peter and the local churches spread throughout the world.
Watch our programme every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Catholic News World channel. God bless.
Please subscribe to Catholic News World's YouTube channel. Thanks and God bless.